welcome back to the Figures and Flippy Shit Wrestling Podcast. I'm Chris. This is Susan. Just a disclaimer, if you were looking for us on Spotify this week and couldn't find us, it's because we were having audio difficulties. I don't know if it's because my phone's 100 years old or if it's microphone cords or what it is. So there probably won't be an audio version of this until I can get that sorted out. We're dealing with some kind of underlying humming that we need to address, but we'll get back on Spotify as soon as we can. That being said, we're here to discuss our 10 favorite things and our bottom 5 least favorite things that we liked. So we want to keep this ending on a positive note, so we will start with the dislikes. Alright, so number 5 for me, this was originally number 1. It was the Texas Chainsaw Death Match. I love my chaotic car crash matches. This was a little too jumping the shark for me.
Too chaotic.
Yeah, but the reason that I took it from 1 to 5 is because I did find out later in the week that this match's existence helped out a lot of people that really need it right now. I saw a report where it insured $100,000 went to the people affected by the Maui wildfires. So anything that's going to do that much to help people that need it that bad, I can't hate on that much. So I'm not really going to spend the time to run it down. I'm just going to simply say it wasn't for me. But I'm glad of its existence for the people that it helped and how much it helped them. Mm-hmm. Number 4 for me is more of a nitpick. I understand the logical reason why this is happening. But for me, it's just Austin Theory not letting go of the U.S. title. I understand he wants his rematch. He has a justification because he wasn't fighting his original opponent, even though it was his fault. I get it. I hate that LA Knight had to be sacrificed for that to happen. But yeah, Austin Theory just doesn't do anything for me.
He is pretty boring.
He's a pretty bland dude. And outside the ring, inside the ring, he's fantastic. He's a great wrestler.
Yeah.
It's just his stuff outside the ring just doesn't really resonate with me. And whenever I find him on my screen, that's one of the times it's easiest for me to get on my phone or go to the bathroom or get something to drink.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't really bring that much intrigue for me. Mm-hmm. So that's number 4 for me. What's your number 3?
My number 3 is the Becky and Trish match getting a count out.
Yeah.
I was ready for the feud to be done.
Yeah. This is on my list as well. So we'll cover it a little bit more when we get to that point. Mm-hmm. And then I can kind of agree with your points and stuff at that point. Number 3 for me was, where the hell is Shotzi? Bayley is mixing it up with Bianca and Charlotte, which is fine, because Io's champ makes sense. I don't know that I need another months-long ordeal between Bianca and Damage Control, because we just did that on Raw less than a year ago.
Much.
Actually, it started about a year ago that they did, and it felt like they feuded forever.
Yes.
I felt like
I feel like that's kind of what ruined Damage Control in a way, is because they just focused on that one person.
They kept feeding them to Bianca,
and now we're going back to it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I would be okay with Damage Control breaking off and feuding with Charlotte because, but at the same time, that keeps Charlotte in title picture, and I think we need to do more with Charlotte outside of the title.
She doesn't have to be in the title picture.
Well, don't you know she does? Because she's Ric Flair's daughter, and he has 16
She's not even
more
looking
titles.
as smooth in the ring as she
I
used
noticed
to,
that
though.
during the tag match. She's not. Ever since she came back, some of her matches have just felt off.
They have.
And I don't like to lay the blame at any one person when that happens, but everybody else that's been in matches with Charlotte has looked fine in other matches.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's kind of a process of elimination.
Kind of like a Britt Baker type situation.
Yeah, I would agree with that. But yeah, and Shotzi, my original point, just kind of disappeared. She was terrorizing Bayley. It was funny.
Right? This girl literally shaved her head. I mean, I know she shaved her head for another reason, real life, but you made her have these pretty creepy, and I thought they were kind of cool video packages of her, and she just disappears.
Yeah,
But maybe something's going on because who knows, personal life. Maybe something's going through that she had to take time off.
Maybe.
It's just kind of not explained where she went.
Yeah. I mean, they could do something.
Yeah.
But I just hope that Shotzi doesn't get lost, because this was something interesting for Shotzi to do, which she hasn't been interesting in a while.
Yes.
So it's just kind of a shame that it seems like it's kind of been dropped.
Yes.
So. What's your number 2?
My number 2 is Where is Shotzi?
Oh.
So we just talked about that.
Yeah, we already hit on that. Number 2 for me is a Collision problem. So, in my list, I cited Jay White and CM Punk, and I think it's a symptom of a bigger problem. So, my original dislike with this was Jay White seems to have moved on from CM Punk, even though they never really did anything definitive between the two of them. They had their 2 out of 3 falls match with FTR, which was admittedly was excellent.
Yes.
But it doesn't make sense to me that Jay White just kind of walked away. Like, he teased going after what was in CM Punk's bag.
CM Punk literally has his name is mentioned every 5 seconds.
That's the rest of my dislike, is you built this show, Collision, supposedly, to get more wrestlers more opportunities, and what you've done is CM Punk has, and I counted, CM Punk has 4 feuds on Collision right now. He's feuding with Samoa Joe. He's feuding with Jay White, maybe. I don't know.
There's Ricky
He's
Starks.
feuding with Ricky Starks. Okay, so maybe it's only 3, but still, that's a lot. No, he feuded with House of Black this past week over the Trios titles. There's my 4th. So I understand that you think that CM Punk is your big draw, and he probably is. He probably does bring eyes on the product. But you're making the same mistakes, just in a different way. Like, Miro is not an every week thing. Scorpio Sky is on your advertisement, and he showed up twice since Collision has started.
Well, CM Punk alone is in their entrance video like 500 times.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you might as well at this point just give him his own hour, and then everybody else can fight for the other hour.
He already gets the 30 minutes every week.
Yeah, and that's another thing, too. I don't need 30 minutes of Punk at the end of every Collision. This show was originally built to give other people opportunities, and you have, to an extent, but we have people that are getting time on Dynamite that are coming over here. Like, you have a lot of talent that you can give TV time to because of Collision, and you're pissing most of it away on CM Punk and Dynamite talent.
Who CM Punk is literally, who knows how much is true, but he's literally in the middle of controversy every damn week, too. So, like, you're just rewarding his bad behavior. He's like a child that needs to go in timeout.
Yeah, and there's reports that Ace Steel was brought back. You know, that dude literally
I'm just gonna
assaulted a coworker.
I'm going to go bite somebody, and I'll be okay.
Yeah, exactly. Next time things don't go the way I want to at work, I'm just going to go bite someone.
Right, I'm going to throw a tantrum, have people leave, I'm going to talk bad about them in front of everybody after stuff goes off the air. And
yeah. You know, aside from the off-camera stuff that's going on with CM Punk, I don't even care about that. He still takes up a lot of time on the show, and I understand that this was like his vehicle, and he has a lot of control over it. But dude, you're almost 50. There's a lot of young talent over there. Back the hell off and give up some of that TV time because you don't need all of it.
I mean, I say this every week, but I think he's very egotistical. I think he's a narcissist.
Honestly,
I think he's a piece of shit.
Honestly, you know what I think would be the best way to use CM Punk, honestly? CM Punk should be AEW's Brock Lesnar. He comes in for special feuds. He comes in when you need something to mean something and to build a big program with somebody that's not necessarily in a title picture. And then he fucks off.
Yeah.
That's what I would do with CM Punk.
I don't think CM Punk could handle that, though. He wouldn't have the limelight.
No, he wouldn't, but that's how I would book him.
Because I wouldn't book him at all.
You could still feed his ego because you could be like, look, I book you like Brock goddamn Lesnar.
I would tell him to fuck off and not even put him on my show.
Yeah. But
that's just me.
Yeah, that's been a sticking point for me with Collision lately. Collision is still a good show, don't get me wrong.
It is.
But I could do with 10 to 15 minutes less of Punk each week, and you could get that to, I don't know, your women's division.
I despise CM Punk with a passion, and I still like Collision. I just honestly just tune out his matches.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that was my number 2. I don't think you expected me to rip into Collision like that, but
no.
Here we are. All right, what is your number...
I feel like an asshole for my number 1 because you said earlier this was going to be my number 1, but they raised so much money, I can't hate on it, and the Texas Chainsaw Anything Goes match is my number 1.
You could grade it from a wrestling standpoint if you want.
I just thought it was a cluster, and I couldn't follow along. The only thing I liked about it was that Ethan Page was in it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and you know me, I love car crash matches. Especially if Jon Moxley is proposing it, which we'll get to here in a little bit.
There's randomly a title for it too.
Yeah, the Leatherface title. I don't think that's going to be a
Yeah.
regularly occurring
No,
thing. I
but
think
it was
that's just a piece of merch for Jeff Jarrett to carry around.
Oh, it was just randomly there, and then Leatherface comes out, and I'm like, oh dear God, this is terrible.
I mean, it was like, I laughed.
I mean,
like,
kudos for them for raising that much money, but it was terrible.
to me, the wrong people were in the match.
Why not Bunny, Butcher, and Blade?
I think this match would have been more fun if you would have done maybe
Kip
like
Sabian, Penelope Ford.
maybe like Darby Allin. But you could have done Darby Allin, Orange Cassidy, and Sting against the Butcher and the Blade and Kip Sabian.
And then have Bunny be there, because Bunny loves horror movies.
Yeah, you could have done something like that.
I just feel like it's a missed opportunity to not have the Bunny involved in this.
Yeah, I feel like Jeff
Texas
Jarrett and Jeff
Chainsaw
Hardy
match.
were weird choices for that.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not like the biggest fan of either. I don't... I want the best for Jeff Hardy. I just don't trust him in wrestling anymore.
I also kind of wonder if this match would have worked better as a cinematic match.
Maybe. Because they poured the blood all over them, and it was just...
Yeah.
I don't know. It was just... I literally noted it felt like a big advertisement. And I don't want that in my wrestling. If I want to watch advertisements, I'll watch TV commercials.
It reminded me of when like WCW used to bring in Chucky and RoboCop and
that was
stuff
stupid,
like that.
too.
Yeah, it just wasn't for me.
Yeah.
But like I said in the beginning, and I think you agree, if it's for a good cause, I'm okay with this existence.
Right? That's why I said I feel like a jerk for having
yeah.
that as my number one disliked thing.
But it's your most disliked thing from a wrestling standpoint.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My number one is going to support points you were making earlier. Mine was the conclusion of Becky Lynch and Trish Stratus.
Yeah.
Yes, I understand we're getting a cage match out of it, and the cage match should be fun, but this feud should have been over at SummerSlam.
It should have... Yeah, they shouldn't have been pushed to have... I don't even know what they did.
Yeah, this should have ended at SummerSlam. You should have done the cage match at SummerSlam, and then we could have been done with it.
But if we get this at Payback...
Yeah,
I'm
if we get to see it live, that'll be fun.
But I want it over at the same time, so I'm a little conflicted.
Now, if we weren't going to Payback, like if Payback was somewhere else and we weren't going, I would definitely feel like this has dragged on too long.
True, very true.
I mean, this has been going on since just after Mania. Like this should have been done and dusted at SummerSlam. Their match shouldn't have been cut. Roman doesn't need 10 minutes to get to the ring. You could have given the extra 5 to
Well, they had like the
Becky
last
and
hour,
Trish.
I feel like.
They really did. I think somebody timed it, and they said at SummerSlam, from the time that Jey Uso's music hit till the time that the show went off the air was 50 minutes. That's stupid long. I know that's your big story, but, I mean, you could have made room for Becky Lynch and Trish Stratus. I mean, for Christ's sake, Becky Lynch shared the cover of the game with Roman. You could give her the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think the cage match would be fine, but this has just gone on for me too long.
Agreed.
It's quickly losing my interest.
Agreed.
Which is a shame, because I usually am interested in everything Becky Lynch does, because she's one of the most interesting women's wrestlers out there.
Yeah.
But this just, it's too long. It's too long, bro.
Agreed.
All right. Well,
are you ready
you want
for
to get
our
positive?
positives? Yes.
Yeah, let's get some positive in here. So do you want me to start, or you want to start?
I can start, because
Okay.
mine kind of goes along with my, like my third top dislike.
Okay.
While I didn't like that Becky and Trish's match ended in a count out, I loved that they went out to the concourse to wrestle, because you don't see women do that very much.
Yeah.
So I love that they went out with the crowds, and like they were just using stuff out there. Like I don't know when was the last time we saw a women's match do that?
Oh, I don't know.
I feel like it was the one last thing that I can remember is NXT, Asuka and Nikki Cross.
Oh, I'm sure there's been one since then.
I'm sure, but I'm just, my point is that
it's rare enough that I can't think of it.
Yes, and that made me happy.
Yeah.
I love when women get to do things that the men get to do.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I say this every week, women can wrestle just like the men.
Yeah. Number 10 for me is Joker Sting's back.
Oh, yeah.
And not only is it Joker Sting, it's Jack Nicholson Joker Sting.
See,
so
I didn't
I'm
know that
here
was
for
a
that.
thing, because whenever we saw him, I was like, is he the Joker?
Yeah, that's something from TNA.
I didn't know that. I didn't watch TNA.
Something that you might find interesting, Impact posted a video on YouTube that is like the history of Joker Sting.
Oh.
You might have to check that out.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't watching TNA, but I knew some of the things that were going on. I knew people really liked Joker Sting.
I know, he sounds crazy. He's literally like if Seth Rollins was on crack. I like stuttered through that name, but don't you feel like it? Like Seth Rollins on crack is
it's
Joker
like
Sting.
I mean, it's literally like the Crow got into the Joker's acid.
And I don't even know if I should have compared Seth Rollins to him because Sting was around way before Seth Rollins. But you know what I mean with that.
Like Seth Rollins did a move that briefly ended Sting's career for a while. So it's kind of funny that he brought back to that.
Did he really? I don't know if I knew that.
Yeah, but Sting was cool with it. Everybody knows it's an accident. I mean, it's not a big deal. Like, well, I mean, it was a big deal at the time, but
I don't know if I knew that.
Rollins got a lot of hate for that he didn't deserve.
Oh man, kind of like Sasha Banks with Mercedes Moné.
Yeah, very similar actually.
Yeah,
very similar actually.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm interested. It's cool that I'm going to get to see Joker Sting, and dude, for being 64, I think he is now. Sting is killing it. Sting is having a great Legends run. I mean, he might be having the greatest Legends run of all time.
Yeah, but like, his recent wrestling matches haven't been that great, and I know it's because he's older, and it's like, let's not do the Undertaker thing where you go too long when you should have just hung it up.
Yeah, I think he's done soon. I don't know how he's going to end. I think he's also having an issue like The Undertaker. He doesn't know how he wants his career to end. He knows it needs to. He just doesn't know how he wants it to.
Undertaker's had like a million different ways for his career to end. Just pick one and be done with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Every time Undertaker comes back to try to make it better, it's just worse.
That's why he's still gone. His last match technically was the Boneyard with AJ Styles, which I think is a pretty good match to go out.
It is, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what is your number 9?
The Supernova sessions being interrupted or hacked by the hard-hitting Home Truths.
Okay.
With Nathan Frazier. I just thought that was so funny. I love Noam Dar. Nathan Frazier is like a little mini... Don't mind me, my hair's in my face. But Nathan Frazier is like a mini Seth Rollins.
Oh, it makes sense. Seth Rollins
I know, he trained him. But I don't know, I just really like... I don't know, I just thought it was super funny.
I had it down as one to be considered. It was pretty funny. It was funny to watch Noam Dar just get more and more flustered.
Yes.
Like, literally, he could just keep talking if he wanted to, but he let the whole thing throw him off.
Yes.
I really enjoy Noam Dar.
Me too.
On NXT. Number 9 for me was the number 1 contenders match between Dijak and Wes Lee. I definitely feel like Wes Lee is going to go heel sooner.
Oh, yeah, and I'm
later.
here for it. I think he'd be a good heel, just like the teases that he's done.
Yeah, I agree. And I hope he does get a run with the big title, because he was a very good North American champion.
He was,
like,
yeah.
He pretty much guaranteed a good match anytime.
Yes.
Every time. I have yet to see a bad Wes Lee match since we've started watching again.
Yeah,
I don't see them.
Agreed.
But I thought the match was good. I thought Dijak was a good opponent for him to beat in order to challenge for that title. It's just a really good match. You should go check it out.
It was, yes. My number 8? It was Alpha Academy versus Imperium. Okay. I just think that they are so, like, those two factions are so fun together. Like, I love how, oh my gosh, Kaiser...
Yeah.
Is kind of like creepy towards Maxine Dupree. It's like creepy. It's like borderline too creepy, but I like it because he's like, I don't know. He's just very obsessed with her and inappropriate. And then we had Gunther even like yell at him about it. And like, I don't know. I like that we kind of got teases of like Imperium having dissension, but I don't want them to break up at the same time. Like, I don't know. I really like those two factions interacting. Yeah.
I've seen some people online pitch the idea that Ludwig Kaiser should be the one to hand Gunther his first loss. Like, they should build that up and let him be the one to do it.
You'll have to make him win more matches, though.
Yeah. It wouldn't be hard to build him up.
No.
It wouldn't be that hard. Number 8 for me was Cody Rhodes and Finn Balor's match on Raw.
Yeah.
That was a really good match. I like aggressive Finn because he's just such an angry dude, like whenever he's being aggressive.
And I love the part where Finn Balor Priest goes to like shove the Money in the Bank suitcase to Finn Balor, and it slips through Finn's hands and goes to Cody Rhodes, and Finn Balor's face is like terrifying.
I saw a video somebody posted on Reddit. Somebody put that in black and white and put like Benny Hill music with it, like
oh my gosh,
which seemed really funny. But yeah, I just enjoyed that match.
And we're getting some JD McDonough in there.
Yeah, JD McDonough's been kind of hanging around. It seems like he's going to be...
I hope that he joins Judgment Day instead of breaking them up, because I love Judgment Day.
Yeah, it would suck if they broke up, seeing as how you just bought their shirt.
I just bought a shirt of them.
Which is probably why they're going to break up.
Probably. But I don't know.
Yeah, but I enjoyed the match.
Yes.
It's still... Sometimes it's still weird for me to see Cody Rhodes interact with the people that are on Raw every week, because he's just come out of feuds with Roman and Brock Lesnar who aren't there every week. So it's still kind of a weird adjustment to see Cody feuding with somebody that's actually going to be there every week to respond to him.
Yeah.
But I think we need more of that. I think we need to help Cody feel more a part of the show.
Right, yeah.
Because sometimes I feel like Cody's...
They make him seem like he's too big.
Yeah.
Like Roman Reigns, and I don't like that.
Yeah, I agree. He's like a Roman that's there every week.
Yeah.
I definitely would love to see Cody wrestle more. But at the same time, I understand that, him wrestling could be special.
Yeah, but he's, like, good at his job, so, like, why not let him do it all?
Yeah. And I don't know, maybe that's part of his deal. Maybe he's like, I don't want to wrestle till my body breaks down. I don't know.
Maybe.
We don't know what's going on there.
That's a very good point.
But I definitely like Cody interacting more with the regular Raw roster.
Yeah.
Because there's plenty that he can do to fill time till he gets back to Roman. Hell, have him feud with Gunther. You have wanted that for a while. Well, Cody eliminated Gunther in the Royal Rumble, so it kind of sets itself up.
All about that, yes.
It set itself up. I think that would be a good way to go.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like that match. It was good stuff. The ending was funny. Adds a little more drama to the Judgment Day. I just thought it was well done.
Yes. My number 7 is what we just talked about, but it was a very specific part. It was just the briefcase sliding through Finn's hands. I loved that part for some reason, so that was my number 7. Okay. I mean, I guess I liked the match, but that specific part I loved. So.
Okay. Number 7 for me is Eddie Kingston's back, which is always great. I love Eddie Kingston so much. He's one of the only dudes in wrestling. Him and Cody Rhodes are probably the two people in wrestling that when they speak, I believe every word that they're saying.
Yes.
Because they just put so much behind it.
Yes.
But not only is Eddie Kingston back, but it's going to get kind of crazy. So it's going to be Eddie Kingston, the Best Friends,
yes,
Orange Cassidy, and the Lucha Brothers,
yes, against
Moxley, Yuta, Claudio, 3 dudes of their choosing. Stadium Stampede at Wembley.
Whenever they
said so excited.
Whenever they announced it was a Stadium Stampede, I got excited.
If you haven't seen the first Stadium Stampede match, it is wonderful, wonderful nonsense.
Yes.
It's complete nonsense, and I love every second of it.
Yes. It was fun.
I am so excited for the Stadium Stampede to come back. Not only that, we're doing a Stadium Stampede in a stadium that is full.
Which is very exciting.
I'm very interested to see what happens, because they did a lot of fun stuff with the first Stadium Stampede.
Yes.
Like, one of my favorite things was Matt Hardy changing gimmicks every time he was dumped in the pool. Like, it's just stupid stuff like that. If you love stupid shit wrestling, you're going to love Stadium Stampede.
Goofy wrestling for life.
Yeah. It's... I am so excited. Eddie Kingston's involved. That raises my excitement. The Blackpool Combat Club's involved. That raises my excitement. Because Blackpool Combat Club wasn't in the first Stadium Stampede. So we've never seen John Moxley in Stadium Stampede.
I'm very nervous to see John Moxley in
John
Moxley's
going to bleed gallons.
I can't handle too much blood, though.
He's going to literally have to get a transfusion in the middle of the match. But it's going to be amazing. The first 9 guys are already fun. And I'm really intrigued to see who partners up with Blackpool Combat Club.
Yeah.
I'm very intrigued. Because we know it's not going to be Danielson. He's not going to be ready in time.
Sadly, yes.
Yeah, which I also saw
He would have had so much fun in
saw the other day, too, that originally Wembley was going to have Kenny and Danielson one-on-one. And sucks he got hurt.
Yes.
Sucks that he got hurt.
Yes.
But, yeah, I'm beyond stoked for this. I feel like this is going to be my favorite match at All In.
It probably will. You love stampedes.
I love my car crash matches, and I really love them when Jon Moxley's the one driving the car.
Man, I get a little too squeamish for his matches.
Oh, I enjoy it. I enjoy it. I mean, look what they did to Sue's van. Imagine what they're going to do to Wembley Stadium. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. All right, what's number 6 for you?
My number 6 was the Jericho and Don Callis stuff.
Okay.
So I just like how like Jericho'd, and he teased that he wasn't going to join, and then he was like, I'm in. And then Don Callis was like, let's get out of here. Let's go to the bar. We gotta go. We gotta go. And then Jericho was just like, what's this picture that you have here? Is this a gift for me? And then it's just literally a painting of Don Callis holding Jericho's head. It reminded me of like the Sleeping Hollow thing where oh my God, is that what it was supposed to be?
Oh, I'm not sure.
It looked like the Sleepy Hollow where the Headless Horseman's holding a head.
I just know I love Don Callis' paintings that he gets done.
I know. Like,
because they look so nice, but they depict such nonsense.
Who does these paintings for him? And how can I can't paint, but how can I get a random job like that?
I don't know.
Dude, what if Callis paints him himself? That'd be the big swerve.
I don't know. This for me was in considerations for dislikes.
Really?
And not because I didn't like it, but because I was confused. Like, because it seemed like they turned on each other so quickly.
Dynamite kind of went off the rails for a little bit, though, this week.
Yeah, it started out hot.
It
started out hot. And then I think the Texas Death Match threw it out of whack.
It is, and everything was kind of like wacky after.
Because then we get to the main event, and there was only 10 minutes.
10 minutes, yeah.
Which, I mean, granted, the Bucks and the Guns put on a hell of a match for 10 minutes.
But, I mean, you give Collision 30 minutes, and you give Dynamite 10 minutes main events. Like,
yeah.
Again, Tony Khan, you fanboying a little too hard over CM Punk.
Yeah, why don't you meet in the middle and both can be 15 to 20?
Right.
There you go.
Right?
There you go.
Well, I don't even care. I didn't even think that the fact there was like one Young Bucks, one CM Punk. I didn't mean that. I meant just, why does one have to be so long and one so short? Like,
it definitely feels like Collision is more of a slower pace, like old style wrestling show. Sometimes Dynamite makes me feel like I have ADD.
I'm the opposite. Dynamite does well for me because it's so quick, and I feel like I do have ADD, and I can focus very well with Dynamite. With Collision, it's slower. We talk about Punk a million times. While it's good, I like the fast pace because you notice me on my phone a lot during Collision because I can't stay focused on it.
Yeah. It's just two different... And what I like about that, honestly, is I think it's really cool that Dynamite and Collision feel like different shows.
Oh,
absolutely. Raw and SmackDown feel pretty similar. Yes. But I like that Dynamite and Collision have two completely different
And then Rampage
feels.
just feels like it's like a dark now.
Yeah, it does.
They have storylines on there.
Yeah, and there's some fun stuff that's going up
is.
on Rampage. Like, one of them made my list. I think one of them made yours, too.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's just... the two different feeling shows.
Yeah.
But going back to our original point, I think we got off the rails there. With Callis and Jericho, I felt like that... I don't know, I felt like that escalated far quickly than was warranted.
It's Jericho and Callis.
That's true.
And they've been friends forever.
Yeah. And it's kind of like...
And Jericho always, every week, called Callis a piece of shit or something.
Yeah.
So it's not like they have the best relationship.
No, but I mean, like, I don't know, it just, the segment felt a little off. I thought it started out great.
Yeah.
But once the picture got revealed, I was, like... I was confused as to why they were all of a sudden just running each other down. Like,
because that's
was Callis full of shit the whole time? Or was he just being defensive?
I think he was just in defense
or is Don Callis just a carny piece of shit? That's the real question.
Or
and we didn't even mention the fact that this got us a Jericho Ospreay match for All In.
Oh yeah, because Ospreay came to help
Don Callis.
Yeah,
and Sammy came out and helped Jericho. So we're not done with Sammy and Jericho. I'm ready for those two to feud already.
Yeah.
But I kind of wonder if Sammy Guevara is going to play into Jericho's retirement, and that's why they keep them together.
Maybe.
Like, because I could see it, because it definitely seems like, Jericho's taken a lot of people as part of his group on AEW, Sammy Guevara and Jake Hager were the most consistent.
They were.
And now Jake Hager is who knows where.
I know.
And Sammy Guevara's still around. So I really feel like Sting has said he wants Darby to be part of his retirement endgame. Mm-hmm. I think Jericho feels the same way about Sammy Guevara.
Yeah.
And I think it shows.
Yeah.
So what number was that for you?
6.
6. So 6 for me was, speaking of Rampage, having good stuff. So we turned on Rampage last night after SmackDown. SmackDown was pretty good, pretty emotional. And then I turn on Rampage, and then Rey Fenix, the commander, just put on a freaking clinic right in front of my eyes.
It was amazing. There were so many times in that we were both like, oh my god.
I mean, there's times where Rey Fenix is one of my favorite wrestlers to watch.
Commander's impressive too.
He is. He's fantastic. But those two would do things where all I could do was look at my TV and just be like, shut the fuck up. Like, these things, human beings are not doing these things.
Yeah.
But it was fantastic. It was fun. I don't necessarily feel like there was a lot of story to it, but sometimes it's just fun to watch a fun wrestling match because it's fun.
Exactly.
And AEW is great at that.
Yes. WWE thrives on storytelling. AEW strives on putting on hella good matches.
Yeah. If you're
not strives.
Yeah,
excels.
Excels. There you go. If you want story, WWE's gonna be more of what you're looking for, even if the stories don't always make sense. Mm-hmm. If you want high quality matches just for the sake of, hey, these two wrestlers are really good, let's put them in the ring and see what happens, AEW's best in the world at that.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, and for what I understand, New Japan, when it's good, is a hybrid of both.
Oh.
So
yeah.
Take with that what you will, but yeah, Commander Phoenix put on an excellent match.
Yes, I loved it.
It was fantastic. There's not much I could say. I'm not going to sell up spots or anything. Just go check it out.
It was just amazing.
Wonderful. What is your number 5?
The Edge's 25th anniversary. I was a little torn because did he retire?
I don't know.
If he did retire, it will be a dislike that he won. Mm-hmm. I don't want an older talent that's retiring to go over the younger talent that's still wrestling. That doesn't make sense to me. Mm-hmm. That's very...
Well, Sheamus isn't exactly young.
But he's still wrestling.
Yeah, he is.
But if he's not retiring, though, I do think that SmackDown did an excellent job celebrating his 25 years in wrestling. Mm-hmm. I'm just a little, yes, that was my number 5. I really liked it, but at the same time, it's just but did he retire? Because I don't like how it ended if he did. Mm-hmm. But that's my number 5.
Okay. All right. Number 5 for me was the LA Knight Austin Theory match. I thought LA Knight got a good showing out of it. He looked the best in the ring that he's looked in a few weeks. It seemed to just be clicking more. Maybe he has better chemistry with Austin Theory.
Maybe.
And he did lose, but his loss was very protected.
Yeah.
Because he got distracted by Miz, he fought out of that, and then he lost by distraction.
But it's LA Knight's own fault. That mofo got distracted 2 or 3 times by the Miz. And it's dude, stop getting distracted.
Yeah.
Why? I love wrestling, but why are the faces stupid and why are the refs stupid?
Because if they were smart, we wouldn't have anything to go on.
That's true.
Because I kept saying the same thing. I was like, LA Knight, just let Miz hit you. You win by DQ.
Right?
You're the number 1 contender.
Or just ignore him.
Yeah. It is. It's maddening sometimes.
It
is. Like you want to put logic in wrestling, but then if you put logic in it, the whole thing falls apart.
Oh, you mean D'Angelo in jail? And a match getting him out?
Yeah, if you put... I kind of like that angle. Shut up.
I do not. It was too much.
Yeah, wrestling's funny like that. If you put too much logic in it, the whole thing just crumbles like a house of cards.
Yes, it does.
But that being said, I did like that LA Knight got a good showing.
Yeah.
The crowd was definitely behind him. They were
sure.
loud.
I feel like they were just as loud for him as they were for Edge.
I would give the Edge slightly to Edge. I didn't want that sentence to come off redundant, but that's the only way I could do it.
They were very close, though.
They were. LA Knight got a very loud pop.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, the movement, I think, is here to stay.
Yeah.
And I love how all the heels are claiming the same thing. He's flash in the pan. He even came across Paul Heyman's radar.
He did.
So, yeah, I want...
Which that tells me that Paul Heyman's high on LA Knight then.
If he thought to mention him?
Yes.
Maybe. If he is, that bodes well for LA Knight.
Because Paul Heyman, I feel like, is the... Sorry to say king of, like, commenting on people that he likes as a way to put them over. Yeah. So, yeah, it's interesting. We're gonna have we always talk about the Bloodline. Not much happened with them this week, at all. Nothing noteworthy. I'm not upset about it.
I'm not either. It was kind of nice to have a breather without it.
Yeah.
And I think this show was SmackDown was focused on exactly what it should have been focused on.
Edge.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
So I think it was wise to leave the Bloodline off this week, except for a backstage segment with Paul Heyman. The Usos weren't there, Roman wasn't there, Solo
and Paul
wasn't
Heyman
there.
was looking ruffled during his.
Yeah, he's looking a little rough. Yeah, that was my number 5. LA Knight's good showing. So number 4 for you?
Mine was just a Stadium Stampede being announced and who is in it, because I do think it's going to be hella fun. I'm very nervous for Moxley and the bleeding. But I do think it's going to be a lot of fun. I saw a comment the other day that said that in the Stadium Stampede match, Sue should come back in a tank to chase down the Blackpool Combat. Oh my gosh. That would be so funny. And I wouldn't put it past them.
I know, I wouldn't either.
AEW does some out there stuff.
I know, I wouldn't put it past them either to have Sue literally try to run down Jon Moxley in a minivan. Like a souped up minivan. Or
Claudia, because Claudia's one that ripped off the door and...
Oh yeah, and he put the guardrail
he told her to get out, or maybe that was Moxley.
It was all of them told her to get out.
But yeah.
So yeah, I feel like Sue's going to make an appearance.
Probably.
I definitely feel like it's coming. I feel like she's going to get revenge.
Or maybe she's just going to drop them off like she used to. That's what she always used to do, was just drop them off and then leave.
Well, now they've made it personal because they destroyed the Dodge Caravan.
That's true.
Yeah, the van was destroyed. It's personal.
I wonder if it was random question, but I wonder if it was destroyed because she got a new car and she was like, "Hey, use this."
I don't know.
Because how funny is that?
I don't know. I went back and watched clips of it actually during the week. Yeah. It's just so funny to watch them just totally destroy this car. Like Moxley slashing the tires with the screwdriver.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's so funny.
She's screaming inside of it for a little bit and Yes.
But yeah, that Stadium Stampede is gonna be a lot of fun.
Yes.
A lot of fun. And the Moxley and Eddie Kingston's gonna provide a nice beating heart for it. So I'm ready for that.
Yes.
Number 4 for me was the Rollins Nakamura segment on Raw.
Oh man, I completely forgot about that one. Yeah, that was good.
I really like this feud. I think this feud's gonna be fun because Seth Rollins was the kind of heel that he was. I kind of feel like Shinsuke's almost a mirror of that, but in a quieter way about it.
Yeah.
He's like a quiet shit
He does
stirrer.
so many facial expressions and
and he just keeps outwitting Rollins.
And I love that Shinsuke is a heel, and because he's a heel, he speaks Japanese, and I just love that that's a heel thing for him to do. I love how that's considered heel for him to speak Japanese.
Yeah. I'm gonna tell you everything you want to know, but I'm gonna say it in a way you don't understand.
Yes.
Boo! Yeah.
Yes.
I think it's awesome. I love to watch people like that do promos in their native tongue because they just feel so much more natural and they look more comfortable.
Yes.
I mean, I couldn't imagine, learning French for 3 years, having only 3 years of French to go off of, and have to go on national TV and cut a promo in French because I'm wrestling in France.
English is one of the most difficult languages to learn too.
It is.
So
the English language is a pain in the ass.
I've learned it my whole life, and I don't know what the hell I'm saying half the time.
Yeah, it is. It's a pain in the ass.
It is.
But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I like how Cole did the in-ring interview. I can't remember the last time I saw Michael Cole do an in-ring interview.
Yeah.
I think we need to do more of those because I always enjoy him in AEW when they do them with Shivani, especially when Shivani ends up abused or something. Sounds terrible.
That happens all the time to him.
It does, especially the Bullet Club, who essentially bring him in and essentially hold him hostage while they're cutting a promo.
Yeah. Tony Storm's always yelling at him.
Yeah. So yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing more. I mean, they do it with Byron Saxton, but I think you could build a lot of heat by doing it with Michael Cole, somebody who's a little higher on the totem pole, and somebody who ever since Vince got out of his ear has been more appreciated by the fans.
Oh, yes.
So I think you could generate some good heat by going after Michael Cole.
I agree. Yeah. Top 3 time.
Yep, top 3.
So,
before we go into the top 3, just a reminder, if you like what you're hearing, make sure to hit that subscribe button, help us get our numbers up, leave a comment. Now we can go into the top 3.
All right, so my number 3 was Hangman Adam Page's video thing that he did outside the hospital.
Oh, you mean the video that caused controversy this week because it found out that they had to change locations and everybody thought it was CM Punk's fault until they found out it wasn't CM Punk's fault? That video?
Well, anyway, I
feel like your brain just...
I was just, why are you bringing up CM Punk?
No, I was bringing up the fact that this backstage promo that they did that was so good and ended on a funny note caused so much controversy over the weekend.
Well, I mean,
for no reason.
CM Punk does a lot to bring controversy on himself. So
I know,
heaven forbid it gets messed up.
I know, but what's funny is that one wasn't actually his fault, which makes it even funnier.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I love that ending though because he was drinking beer and somebody comes up to him and he's like, "You can't drink beer here," and he's like, "What?" It's like he doesn't realize that he can do this.
What was funny to me about it was he was cutting this serious and passionate promo, and then it ends, and this guy just comes up, you can't have that here. Like,
so he just chugs it and gives it to him.
I just love that serious promo ended on that note.
I just loved it. It was so funny. I just loved that one.
That was pretty funny.
Yes.
And it was a good promo, and
it was.
You know, because of it, at All In, we're getting Kenny and Hangman and Kota Ibushi against Jay White, Juice, and Konosuke Takeshita.
Yes, which will be fun.
That'll be a good match. That'll be really good. I'm excited for that. That'll be fun.
Yes.
My number 3 was the MJF Adam Cole stuff on Dynamite. So
love them.
A lot happened with MJF and Adam Cole on Dynamite. So they're wrestling Aussie Open at All In. So they're Australian. So MJF's big idea to prepare for their match was to go to Outback Steakhouse. So they did that. And then they went to the locker room.
Well, he panicked, though, at Outback because it was so good. He was like, oh my god, if the food's this good, they're going to be amazing.
Yeah. So they leave Outback Steakhouse, and then next they end up backstage, and they're watching a crocodile in an inflatable pool with Charlie Romero, right?
Well, first...
Or Charlie
before that, MJF was watching a kangaroo video, and he saw the kangaroo kick.
Oh, I forgot about the kangaroo kick video.
How could you forget the kangaroo kick?
I forgot that he got it from a YouTube video.
So then he tried to talk Adam Cole into their move instead of double clothesline being a kangaroo kick.
And while this was going on, Adam Cole was convinced that they were going to figure out what they needed to know by watching the first 2 Crocodile Dundee movies. And he even pointed out, he's like, I just bought these for $5.99, but okay.
Right? So then they see Charlie.
I have the same 2-pack, actually, of the Crocodile Dundee movies.
Well, and then they see Charlie, Ramon. Love him, so that made this even better.
Yeah.
They see him. And poor Charlie gets taken out by a clothesline.
Yeah, they do a double clothesline with him while he's cradling an inflatable crocodile. And we're not done. This gets them called Tony Khan's office.
Yes.
So we hear Tony Khan yelling at them from inside the office, and they come out, and MJF starts trash talking Tony Khan. So Tony Khan comes out, and he's like, "What did you say?" And MJF was like, "Oh, you look nice today." And he was just like, "Oh, thanks, guys. Good job. I'm excited." And left.
Puts on his shades, which goes into he's always high, so he puts on his sunglasses indoors.
Yeah. So they definitely read the reports. Tony Khan definitely reads the reports that he's soft when it comes to Punk.
And that he's always high.
And that he's always on cocaine or something. Yeah. I mean, have you seen the guy in front of a teleprompter? He doesn't blink.
Right. Well, then, though, don't forget about Roddy Strong coming out.
Oh, I'm not. I'm not.
Okay.
So MJF and Adam Cole pulled up in this Ferrari.
Yes.
And Roddy Strong goes over, and he's still got his neck brace on, which, mind you, MJF didn't cost. Samoa Joe did. But Samoa Joe has not been held accountable at all by Roddy Strong. So Roddy Strong kicks the tire of the car.
He's yelling.
He's yelling. He's just losing it. He injures his foot on the car. So later, it shows the Kingdom pushing him in a wheelchair from where he hurt his foot.
So is he going to be in a wheelchair from now on with the neck brace? This is amazing.
I have no idea, but I love the slow destruction of Roddy Strong out of jealousy.
I know.
And MJF has done nothing except call him a bland creative wrestler.
Which this kind of makes me think that, like, maybe MJF and Adam Cole are going to... Because I really don't want them to break up at all in. Mm-hmm. But maybe they're going to feud with the Kingdom, and that's going to be what breaks them up.
I don't know. I just know that...
Which, I mean, I'm all for Mike Bennett getting wrestling MJF, because that dude is a pretty good dude. Mm-hmm. So, like, I'm all for him. I know he's had, like, that rough past, so, like, I'm all for him getting, like, a little bit more of a push.
Yeah. Well, we're not even done with what happened with MJ Cole.
We're not,
MJF and Adam Cole. So they come out to the ring.
Yes.
And they cut promos on each other, and MJF's especially was really good. Mm-hmm. MJF could be a babyface anytime he wants to.
Yeah, he just has that, but even then, he just looks... He still has a punchable face, though, even as a babyface, because it's just like, you're too nice. Like, I don't like you because you're too nice. Yeah. Like, I don't know.
And MJF talked a lot about, how Cody Rhodes helped him to get onto All In. He was talking about how he was wrestling on a show that he had no business being on. It just felt like... It felt real. Like, it's actually one of my favorite promos MJF's done.
Yeah, but MJF has done so many promos. Are his promos even real with what he says?
I don't know.
I don't know either, because what a life if all of his stories are real.
I feel like when he's being a babyface, they are, and when he's being a heel, they're exaggerated sometimes. I think sometimes still, when he's really upset about something and he's a heel, like the stuff with, like, his teachers didn't understand his ADD, I think there might be some truth in that.
True, that's very true.
Because, plus, you and I have worked, we've seen how the school system treats people that don't learn as well as everybody else does.
Yeah.
Our line of work introduced us to that, and I 100% believe that MJF was expected to perform like everybody else when he didn't have the tools to.
Probably.
I 100% expect that.
Yeah.
But I just thought the whole segment worked. I'm really excited for their singles match. Their tag match is definitely going to have some shenanigans in it. Yeah. I don't know if either one is going to turn on the other. I still get the feeling that Adam Cole's going to fire the first betrayal shot.
I don't know, because he keeps teasing it more.
Yeah.
And usually if you tease it, you're not the one that turns.
Yeah, because toward the end of their segment, MJF had his back to Adam Cole, and Adam Cole crouched down in that position like he does when he's getting ready to hit a super kick.
Yeah.
And the crowd built, like everybody thought it was coming, and then as soon as MJF turned around, he stood straight up and acted like nothing happened.
Yeah.
So I'm really thinking Adam Cole's going to fire the first shot, but at the same time, if this is to offset MJF with the belt, they're even.
Yeah.
So I'm very interested in the story. I think the story's been so well done. This has been the best story that AEW has told in a while.
Oh, I absolutely agree.
Yeah, I think it's the best one they've told in a good while.
Yes.
But yeah, good stuff all around. There's good talent involved with it. It's funny as hell. Definitely give it a watch. When these two break up, it's going to be very sad.
Yes.
We're going to lose some quality TV with that.
Agreed.
But the ride has been fun.
It has been.
Yeah.
Well, my number 2 is Phoenix and Commander's match on Rampage. I just thought it was excellent.
Yeah, it was. There's not much more we can say.
No, it was just amazing. Like, that was probably my match of the week. Like, go check that out for sure. Mm-hmm. It was so good.
Yeah, it was pretty fantastic. Number 2 for me is, you kind of went over this earlier, is the Alpha Academy and Imperium rivalry.
Yes.
I love the dichotomy of these two because Imperium takes wrestling so seriously, and Alpha Academy does too, but they're more jokey about it. And I love that Gunther just seems to have this seething hatred for Otis. He always calls him a freak.
What did he call him? He called him, this week, Armpit of Humanity.
Yeah. And it's just funny to hear Gunther, somebody who talks quite elegantly, and I think it's because he's European. He's like, you're the armpit of America. Like, it's...
Humanity.
Or humanity. Humanity. You're the armpit of humanity. And Otis is just there, just living his best life, gyrating along, like, working with Gable and Maxine.
Yes.
I really enjoy the work that Alpha Academy is doing. I really enjoy the fact that Chad Gable's getting his push. I think it's long overdue for him. Mm-hmm. And this started with Gunther cutting a promo and Chad Gable cutting it off with maybe the greatest shoosh of all time.
It did go on forever.
It went on a long time. That dude's got lungs for days to do that shoosh. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I really love this rivalry. I'm kind of disappointed that we're getting Gable and Gunther this week on Raw,
Right?
because selfishly I wanted it at Payback.
Me too. I did too.
There's still a chance it might happen, but it definitely
True.
seems like with the pay-per-views, Gunther's been defending more on TV.
Yes.
And only at like the bigger pay-per-views.
Yeah.
So, I hope Gunther and Gable run it back at Payback. I hope.
Yeah.
But as much as I love Chad Gable and as much as I love this push, Gunther should not lose the Intercontinental title until he passes Honky Tonk Man on the 8th.
Oh, agreed.
Yeah.
Absolutely agree.
Yeah. Gunther has more than earned it. And I think as soon as he drops the Intercontinental title, he should go straight for the world title. Yeah. And I'd put it on him too.
Yes.
I would 100%. I think Gunther should be world champion by the end of the year. Mm-hmm. I think so. Maybe he's the one to finally take down Rollins.
No. I don't want that.
Oh, I do.
I don't want that at all.
I do.
I love Seth Rollins more than I love Gunther.
I want Rollins to hold on to the title till maybe about Survivor Series and have Gunther take it from him. So he's got till November.
That's not long at all.
That'll give him... He'll have had the title for about 6 months.
That's not long at all.
Do you feel ripped off if that's the case?
I do, because Roman Reigns is there for 1,000 some days.
Roman Reigns doesn't wrestle as often as Rollins
I don't
does.
care. I like Rollins more.
I know you do. I know you do. But yeah, number 2 for me was Alpha Academy and Imperium. I just love what they're doing.
Yeah. My number 1 is one we already really talked about, MJF and Adam Cole.
Okay. Yeah, we already broke this one down pretty far.
I just love them so much. Like, I love them together.
Yeah. It is. It's made for a lot of really enjoyable TV.
It's brought like a side of Adam Cole too that like we didn't really see like his goofier side on
You know
NXT
what I feel like? I feel like the Adam Cole that's doing this stuff with MJF, I feel like is being the elite Adam Cole.
Yeah. Like what we'd see on the show?
Yeah, like this looks like stuff we'd see on BTE.
Yes, it does.
Yeah. Which is it's hilarious.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really fun. This story has panned out so much better than I thought it would have originally.
Yes. Yes.
Like
Because at first I was like, why?
Yeah, at first I was like, this is dumb. They're clearly just going to turn on each other. And the fact that they haven't has made it more interesting.
I know.
It's kind of like with Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter. Everybody was like, well, when's Britt Baker going to turn on Jamie Hayter? And she never did. She never
Very
did.
true.
They stayed friends through the whole thing. Which, let me take this second.
I miss Jamie Hayter.
Yeah, I was going to say, let's take this second to say we miss Jamie Hayter.
I really miss her in the women's division, for sure.
I do too. I do too. Number 1 for me was honestly everything they did for Edge on SmackDown.
It was awesome.
The video packages were good. The looking back on his past was good. I wasn't watching a lot of the time where Edge was in his prime back in like the early 2000s and stuff, but those video packages still resonated with me because I saw like what he meant to people, everything he accomplished.
And it's very nice to see. It was cool to kind of see like the stuff that he started still be around today.
Yeah,
that was nice.
Yeah, I agree. He had his family at ringside, which was great. Beth Phoenix was acting like this is the last match he was ever going to have. Like you said, the fact that he won kind of puts it in mystery for me, but at the same time, I'm okay if his last retirement match was a win since it's in his hometown. I think that's a little bit different. See,
I'm very much old talent needs to step aside and let the young talent shine. So that's very much my
Sheamus and Edge are only like 4 years apart.
Right, I understand that. But Sheamus wasn't the one that was supposedly retiring.
Yeah, but Sheamus doesn't really have anything going on where this loss hurts him either.
Right, but
it's not like he beat LA Knight or Chad Gable.
Okay, but has any other person won their retirement match?
Oh, I'm sure somebody has.
Well, I think that's a load of shit.
Okay.
Don't come at me, bro.
Okay.
You get me fired up every video.
Well, anyway, the match itself was a really good match between Sheamus and Edge.
It was.
It was. Sheamus played heel to the crowd well.
Yeah.
Sheamus is just on another level at this point. I feel like Sheamus is doing his best work.
He is, yeah.
The Brutes didn't get involved. It was just straight one-on-one. They got a decent amount of time for it. Edge looked good in it. The whole thing, just the whole episode of SmackDown was just, everything they did for Edge was just really nice and gave me like a really warm feeling like they actually give a shit about Edge.
Yes. I agree.
So good for him. Good for him that he got that moment in his hometown.
Right.
If it is the last that we see of Edge, I think that's an appropriate way to go out. I know you aren't happy about the win.
No,
But for me, I don't know that he's going to top that moment with his people. I think if this is where he leaves, I think he's good with it. And I would be too.
Yeah.
He gets to leave as the conquering hero.
I'm still going to hate on the fact that he won, but...
Yeah, but I understand it. I'm okay with him winning.
And that's fine.
I don't think Sheamus... I think the only...
And you know what's great about wrestling? We can both have different opinions.
Yeah, we can. We can. But no, I just thought it was a really nice show they put on for Edge, and Edge being the focus was exactly the right call. Like, normally it feels like you're getting beat over the head whenever they do that. Like, when they do it with the Bloodline, it feels like I'm being beat over the head, but I feel like with Edge it was appropriate.
I agree with that, yeah. I don't dislike anything about it, and it's not even that I do dislike it if he retired that he won, but everything else I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. It was a nice tribute, and I like that they made the night about him.
Yeah.
Because that's where their focus should have been.
Yes.
And I do like that the main event there wasn't any like screwiness or anything. Like Sheamus didn't turn on him. The show went off the air with them hugging. I really want to know, because I'm sure he addressed the crowd after the cameras went off. I would really like to see video of that. I would like to see how that went.
I'm sure it'll end up on YouTube somewhere.
I think it'll give us a good indication if he's done or not. But we'll see.
Yeah.
But that covers the week that was in wrestling. The week that was. And it's all going to start again tonight with Collision, so get ready for your 40 minutes of CM Punk. Actually, he's not advertised for any segments so far.
That doesn't mean anything.
It doesn't. But here's the interesting thing, is last night we got to watch Edge wrestle. Tonight we get to watch Christian wrestle. But I do think
You've mentioned this so many times.
I have.
I don't know why that's such a big deal.
I will say my one down with the Edge thing is you missed an opportunity to have Christian do something.
At least have him talk at some point.
Yeah, Jericho did something for Cena.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Tony Khan would have easily let that happen because he's a big fanboy.
Yeah.
Because they had so many segments with him with Edge and Christian in it.
They did. They showed a lot of Edge and Christian. You could have done a Christian talking head, I think.
Yeah.
So that's my one downer for it, is I really think they should have incorporated Christian, especially if this is the end for him. I think Christian should have been a part of that 100%.
Yeah.
I think Tony Khan would have pushed back the Christian Darby Allin match if they needed Christian this week at SmackDown.
I feel like he would have. He'd have been like, absolutely.
Yeah, the fan in him would have been like, yeah, I don't want to be the one to screw this up. But, I mean, it could have just be a simple case that WWE didn't reach out to Christian. And if they didn't, that's a shame.
It also could be a case of, yelled at. It also could be a case of whenever, with Billy Gunn, where they reached out, Tony Khan was just like, can you just mention us? And they're like, absolutely not. So
they're always the other company.
They are.
Or in the Cody Rhodes documentary, the secondary
right
company. Like, just say who they are. You're on fire right now. You're not going to lose any viewers.
Right. Tell me you're petty bitches without telling me you're petty bitches.
MJF this week mentioned WWE. Like, it doesn't matter.
No. WWE puts themselves on this island.
See, here's the thing, is WWE looks at it in an old school way. Back with Vince's thing, it was you either watched WCW or you watched WWE. Now you can watch all of it you want to.
Yeah, that's not life now.
No, you can watch any of it that you want.
Well, I mean, I know there's still some people that think that, but it's not. They're living in their own little world.
Yeah, the tribalness needs to go away.
Yeah.
The fact of the matter is wrestling is probably better now than it's ever been, story-wise, talent-wise, access-wise.
And this isn't even including Impact, New Japan.
Yeah. The indie
Ring
circuits.
Yeah.
GCW, MLW. There's tons of wrestling out there. Shimmer, Stardom, all that.
Yeah.
There's so much out there. And we have access to damn near all of it. Mm-hmm. So there is no reason to be tribal. There's no reason to put yourself on this island of we're the only game in town, because it's clearly not the case anymore.
No.
Get out of the 80s and 90s, come to the 21st century, and look at the money and magic that you can build by just playing well with others.
Yeah.
Do you know how much money would be made if WWE sent somebody over there? If Edge appeared on AEW, do you know how many people would be like, oh, I wonder what WWE's doing these days, and pop over?
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to switch back and forth. A majority of people I know watch both.
Yeah.
So,
Agreed.
Yeah. Well, that was a long rant to go on.
I was going to say, yes.
If you liked all the rants and everything, or just like the video in general, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, share it around, follow us on socials.
Yes. Instagram and Facebook, Figures and Flippy S.
Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Like I said at the beginning of the video, Spotify's on hold right now, but once we get that back up, we'll put an announcement on our socials saying when Spotify will be available again. But until then, like we just said, there's a lot of wrestling out there. Go find it, enjoy it, leave us your thoughts on it, and then we will see you next week.
Later.
Did you like that video? Like, subscribe, and comment to the Figures and Flippy Shit Wrestling Podcast. Oh, yeah!